Actually, I get your response very late. I don't know why. I get a response from you guys after maybe 20-30 seconds. Okay. Okay. So what is my plan? Like whatever we are discussing now, I will create few exercises for you next week, and then you guys have training whole next week. Then I think we'll give you good real examples, real exercises, so that everything will be more clear by then. Right now we are just talking about expressions, statements, plus built-in functions and the looping, but the real how the looping will work, how we have to deal with the data, how we have to manipulate the data, that needs exercises. Okay, so I'll try to create few new labs for you next week, and we'll send you by the end of the week, and then it will be much easier for you to understand. So right now we are just talking about expressions and functions, but how to use them with real examples, that we'll work on after the next week. Okay, so while while we already discussed yesterday, like one thing before I move forward, did you try the example which I asked day before yesterday? Okay, then I will set Shashank as presenter. Actually, I just want to know whether whatever we are discussing, you guys are like you are just taking it as a PDF, or you are really understanding it. So that's why I just want to know, I just want to see how much you are getting it. So your screen is visible to me. Yes. So change this 13, sorry, 128. It is not changed because I think you wrote the code only on number 2. Okay, fine. So this is fine. At least you know how the validate trigger works. And I hope you wrote the code on validate of number 2 on page. Okay. And I also asked to do it using table. Anyone tried it? Okay, take it for Monday. What actually I just want to know the difference between the page triggers and the table triggers. Okay. And if you remember, I wrote, hi Andreas, you want to, yeah, yeah, I just picked up your call and it went on hold. Okay, yeah, yeah, I will add you. I will add you. Okay, okay. I will just add you. Okay, just give me one few seconds. Okay. Hello, guys. There is a surprise call for you from Andreas. Okay, I'm just adding him to the call. He maybe just want to have few words with you. Hello, Andreas. Yeah, everyone, but you will get a response in few seconds. Yeah, I think they keep themselves on mute. And whenever they have to answer, they unmute. Yeah. Actually, right now we are just training them. And performance, my feeling is that I'll create some real time exercises for them next week. And after Mahesh training, we will give them exercises because making them they will real understand it when they have the examples, real time examples, not the book examples. Yeah, I will ask them, guys, can you hear us? Please respond. Please respond. Say hello to Andreas. One, I think. No, yes, two. Two. Or, yeah. I think we are missing one from Noida also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, all are there now. Yeah, she's also there. Bye bye. Hello guys, once again. Yeah. So, Luis, we just discussed about the exercise I gave day before yesterday. So, Shashank shared his screen. So I just saw whether you guys tried that or not. So, did you try? Because I have seen they have tried it. I just, yeah, actually I just want to know the difference between the table triggers and page trigger, and which trigger is fired first. Okay, and I just want to add one point here. Actually, it's always good to write code on table level, not on the page level. But for the example I gave, because we have the variables, the page is not based on any table, then we don't have any option. We have to write on the page, but it's always good to write code on the table. Okay, and I really want to know which trigger is fired first, whether a table or a page. So I'm gonna ask this on Monday. Okay, and I don't think I can finish my content today. So if you guys can come online on Monday. Okay, and also I am planning for some exercises, some real time examples I'll create next week and forward to you, so that whenever you guys get time you can just try to do that. Okay, now I will come back to the training. uh, Luis, yesterday we ended up with the while loop, and today I will start with the repeat until. Okay, how the repeat until will work. So I told yesterday that as long as the statement, as long as the condition is true, the statements will be executed. I will again run the example I created yesterday. So I just wrote one while statement with, I'm checking the condition. I took a like a count like a variable of type integer, and I want to run this loop until the length of this variable, until the length of idx. So I set the I set the if you see, if you the idx has dimension 10. This is a array of one dimensional array, and I set the size as 10. So array length will return 10, and this while loop will be executed 10 times. Okay, so at the end I'm just printing value of first value of array and the last value of array. Okay, so if I print it, I have wrote lot of code here. I think I should write it in new code unit. Sorry guys, I'm just commenting the unnecessary code. Okay, so I will run the code unit now. It is returning first and last value. I was adding that index to a text value test. Okay, and the difference between repeat and while is, in while, until the condition is true, when it fails it stops. Okay, but in repeat until the same condition I have written, and I'm right, and it will get out of the condition when I becomes 10. Here I am checking when I is not equal to 10, but in repeat, whenever the counter is increased to 10, it will exit the loop. Okay, so only this is a difference. And one more important difference is, like, when I not equal to this, suppose I set the value of I equals to 10 and I use while loop, so it will not go inside. Okay, I will show the example. So if I run this statement, it will run the values like repeat 2 and repeat 9. Okay, but I will show you the difference now. I will what I will do right now, I is not in the initial value of an integer is 0, as you all know. If I run these 3 lines, what I am doing, I am writing a repeat until, and it will exit when I is 0. So let's see what happens. You see the high is printed, but if you run while, nothing happens. So this is the difference between while and repeat. In repeat, it will at least come once inside the loop before checking the condition. Okay, so this is all about repetitive statements. Today we will talk about the functions and their parameters. So actually functions are the building block, like they are the fundamentals for any programming language. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll try to create some functions in Navision and check how it works. So there are two type of I'll first of all we will see function call in a statement. From the manual, the example is something like okay, so if you see these statements, total cost is equal to quantity and unit price, calculate price. And if you see, this total cost is a decimal and quantity is a decimal, and I am calling some function which will return some value, and then the total cost will be calculated. Okay, so I just created one calculate price function. Okay, and if I see the code in that, I wrote just a statement like total price equals to unit price multiplied by quantity. Okay, Now I will call this function. So suppose in bunch of statements I call some statement, it will stop at that area, it will execute all the statements from the function and then continue with the remaining statements. So I will write the same line, total cost equals to quantity into calculate price. Total cost, quantity, all are global variables so far. So you can see it gives some error. Type conversion is not possible because one of the operators contains an invalid type. Because I am calling function, but I am not returning anything from this function. I am just multiplying it like this. Okay. So decimal multiplied by what? Because the function is not returning anything. So what I need to do, I just created this function. To return a value from a function, I need to view and cal locals. And we should define the return value, like what we want to return from this function. So I am calculating total price. So I need to return total price. So I need to give here return type as decimal. And I am returning the value, so I should use the exit. So this is exit is a like for returning the value we need to use exit, and to come out of a function also we used exit, but there was nothing in the inside this. So that will, if I use only exit, it will be exit from the function, but if I am writing something in parentheses, it means I am returning this value. Okay, now if you compile it, sorry, I exit in wrong function. The calculate, I need to write this in calculate price. Now it is saying a variable was expected. Because I set the return value in wrong function, I have to set in calculate price. I am returning decimal from calculate price. Okay, so now it's compiled, you can see. It means when I call this function, it is returning some value. Okay, so this is fine. I have called the function, it will multiply and it will return. So this will work now. So this is a case where a function call in a statement. Okay, there can be a case like I created this run function, and I can give one condition like if quantity is greater than 5, then run function. This I created just. So this function in this case, it is returning nothing. Okay, I'm just processing it and printing a message. So it will revert the total. Because I am not returning anything, I am not calculating any multiplication here. I just want to process this. So this is a normal function. Okay. Before coming to second point, uh, I, uh, I should tell you where to define the function actually. I have to start with that. We need to go to view and cal globals, and the third tab is for functions. So you need to define the functions here. Okay. Also for returning the value, you can return values by two types like this. As we told, we need to set the return value. Okay. One more scene is there, like if this total price I set as a global variable. But I will set is a look. I will delete it. I will delete the total price from the global variable. It says that total price is nowhere specified. So if I define a value here in this, sorry, okay, so you can see now the problem has solved. And if I define it here and I assigned a value to it, I need not to exit. It will automatically because I set it as a return value. So whenever this whole function is executed, it will automatically return the total price. No need to write exit. We can try this with the example. Okay, then it will be more clear. I set quantity as 10 because it's a global variable, and I am multiplying it by some unit price, so I need to set the unit price as well. Okay, so when I run this, it will be 10 multiplied by 50, which will be 500, and then again 500 multiplied by 10 will be 5000. So I want to print what happened when I call a function. Okay, what I did, I set quantity as 10, unit price as 50, and then I calculated total cost by calling calculate price function, and I have not written any exit here. So it has written 5000. Okay, so I hope you get the difference. The difference is like, if I do not define total price as a return value, I need to write exit. But if I define, if I define a variable here, I need not to exit because I already declared a variable here in the return value. But if I do not write it here, I need to write a exit. Okay. So this is about function call. Okay. Now if we see the function, I want to pass some values to this. So I need to go to locals. It will open the variable declaration window. These are the parameters. Like while calling some function, if I want to pass quantity and unit price, I'm sending some values, so I need to define those values as a parameter. Okay, so there are two types of function call in Navision. One is call by value and one is call by reference. Okay, and I will not explain, I will just start it with some example. I created function as a call by value function. Okay, I did nothing, I just assigned price equals to 20 and quantity equals to 5, and I will call this function. When I call this function, I need to pass, if I do not pass anything, I call this function, it will give error, like I have not set the parameters. So I need to set price and quantity. Okay, and this price and quantity are the local variables. These are the parameter of the function. Okay, so I need to pass some values from this. So I will set again quantity equals to 15 and unit price equals to 25. So for this function I set the parameter as price and quantity. So I have two parameters. I need to send two parameters here. So suppose if I send unit price and quantity. Okay, if I call this function and print value of price and quantity here. And I will run this, it will print 20 and 5. Okay, so you can see I passed 15 and 25, but I assigned 20 and 5 to the function and it printed 20 and 5. Okay, but if I call the same message above, and I will print unit price and quantity, it will print 20 and 5 and 25 and 15. So basically my purpose is to show this example is like what call by value do, whatever the value I pass to the function, I will do some processing here. It will not be reflected to the original place. Okay, it means I want pass by value only when I want to do some calculation here, like I want to calculate some total price or some unit price or something. But if I want some processing here, and after this processing I want the updated value here, so for that I need pass by reference. Okay, like if I pass these variables by reference, then it means whatever the value I am passing from here, I am doing some calculation here, by that those values are changed, and again I want to use this unit price and quantity for some other calculation after this statement. Okay, so basically call by variable is for returning, if I want the value return to the original area, I want to use call by reference. Okay, I will show you the example. I created the function for call by reference as well. If I want to revert back the value, I need to go to locals and I need to set this var. It means whatever the value I am passing to this function, if that value get changed, it will be reverted to the original position. Okay, so I need to make this true. So what happened, I set quantity as to 15 and 25, but now I will call a function call by reference function and I will pass both the parameters, and I will print the message. And I will print it. 20 and 5 is printed. So it means the value which I passed, that is changed and that is also reverted back, because I passed 15 and 25, but 20 and 5 is reverted. Okay, so basically this calculation is needed when I am passing few parameters, and if those parameters are changed in the function, I should revert that. Okay, so guys, just let me know if this is clear, call by value and call by reference. Okay, so now we will talk about okay. So now we will talk about data access functions. Okay. See, access data in any ERP application is the most important thing. Like suppose I have 10 customers, I want to print some report. This is called data, fetching the data. So data access is the most important thing. So there are some built-in functions for that. We will take one by one some examples. So I will first talk about get. Okay, and as I told you, we already have some help. So I'll go to symbol menu. Okay, not with this. I will type only. So I will tell you the scenario first. Why get is needed? What is the purpose of get? So actually I want to know the name and other fields of this customer number 10,000. Okay, so I'll create new coordinate. I will define customer as a record variable. Record of customer table is table 18. So I have defined customer as a record, and I know that I know that for 1000 customer I want to fetch the details. Okay, so for that I need to write customer dot, you will find these data access functions in the miscellaneous of a record. If you go to customer and miscellaneous, you will find these values. So I will seek get. So you will see it is saying get and I need to pass the value. Okay, and it will return something. If there is something like this, it means it will return something. Okay, so I will select this get customer dot get and pass this. So what this statement will do, this will point out on customer number 10,000 now 10,000 and fetch the values. So what I will do, I want to see what is the name of this customer. So I will go to customer field name and select the name. Okay, now I will run the code unit. If you see, it has returned the value of the customer. It means if I have one more thing I want to tell before that, if you go to customer table and check the prime, you know the keys of a table, I need to go to table view and keys, and the first field in the key, the first key is the primary key. So for using get, I need a primary key value. If I have a primary key value, I should use get. Okay, so in my example, I want to, I know I want that the customer number 10,000, I want to know its name or address or phone number. So if I write customer dot get, it will point only on customer number 10,000, and then I can do whatever I want with that customer. Okay, now this is fine, but you know why there is a return value in that function? I will show the example here. If I write customer dot get, suppose this, and print the message, let's see what happens. You will get a error like customer does not exist. So if you are not sure whether you want to give a error or you want to process the rest of the code, If you do not want a error, like whether customer is found or not, uh, you want other statements to be executed. So it's always needed if condition, like if customer dot found, then print this, else print some other things, or we will print some error. Customer not found. So I hope you understood the purpose of the showing the return. Like if it says some value is returned, we should be sure whether we should give a error, we should stop it, or we want to process it, we want to process the other statements. Okay, if you run it, it will give customer not found. So this is a message, not an error. So it will after this it will process other statements. So this is the example, this is a get, then we'll take this find first. Okay, so the difference between find and get is useful when we want to tackle with the single record. Okay, but if I want to find the record in certain group, or like I want to fetch 10 customers, so I should use find. Okay, and this get uses primary key only. Like if some table has two primary keys, you should know the value of both those two primary key fields. Okay, so get is only for single record. Single record means I know the primary key values. Okay, and get is needed, find is required for multiple values if I want to fetch. For example, I will explain this what is this set range means later, or I will explain with this only. Uh, we have uh, we have filtering functions also. These many filtering functions we have. Okay, so set range, I am writing set range, so I will explain what set range means, and you can get it from again from the miscellaneous, from the filter, sorry, from the filter you get it. If you click this, it will bring customer dot set range. If you see the set range properties, you will find that set range, this is now how to filter the records. Okay, so these are the filtering statements. So if you see, it says field and from value to value. Like I want to filter, for example, customer from customer 10,000 to customer 20,000. Okay, so it says field. So which field I want to filter? I want to filter customer number. So I have selected field. So when you are writing this, best practice is to remove this, because it will not give a compilation error. If I write customer dot set range or any other filter function, this first value will consider that this number belongs to this customer only. So no need to write customer dot number. It makes the line lengthy. Okay, now I will write filter from 10,000 to 30,000. Okay, this is a code, this is not an integer, so I need to take it in this quotes. Okay, so now earlier I just want to fetch the information of customer number 10,000, but now I want to find the information of customer between 10,000 to 30,000. Okay, then I need to write find. So again for find I need to write if you see the find properties, it said find what. Okay, so I will tell you there are many types of find. Okay, so I will use find first. I will use find first, it will be clear to you. So I will write if customer dot You can directly get it from the symbol menu, or I remember, so I write down. If customer dot find first, then message customer dot name. So I am saying find first is used when I only want to print first record of a filter set. I want to do some statements only when for the first customer. Okay, if I run this, it has returned the first customer. Okay, this is the purpose of find first. If I write find last, from miscellaneous you will get these statements. So if I write find last, then let's see what name is printed. It has printed the name of the last customer. Okay, so find first is done, find last is done, and if you want to fetch first record, then always use find first, because these find first and find last are much faster than find set. Okay, now I will use find set. Find set is for fetching all the returns from this filter value, so I will use find set. Now I want to know the name of all the customers in this range. So if I write find set and do not use repeat until, then there is no it will do nothing. So I need to print it in repeat until, because I want to print all the customer names between. So find set is basically used with the repeat until. So you will find in miscellaneous next. So it means I want to fetch the name of all the customers. So if I run this, first, second, and third, fourth. So there are 4 customers in that range, maybe many. I made a mistake. The range is big, actually quite huge, maybe some 10 12 customers it has printed. So this is about find first, find last, and find set. Okay, there are some more functions, like you can also write this find set as like this. Let's see what it happens. It will also print the same, but its find set is faster than that find minus sign. So better to use find set. If you see customer dot find set properties, you will find 2 parameters into that. I didn't set any. It means I have these, both are optional. You can see it's in angular brackets. So it's optional. So I will tell you the meaning of it. Suppose I have filtered customer on number, and if I want to modify also that customer name, then it says for update. It means if I am updating the record which I am passing, I should set this parameter. Okay, so if I set this to true, and I want to change the customer name, suppose I write customer dot name equals to Shikha, and customer dot modify. I'll come up to this, what this modify does. But basically I want to say, if I am whatever the this variable, the record variable, if I want to modify that, I need to pass first parameter as true. Okay, and we will see there is one more parameter, update key. Okay, you all are, you know the key of the table. Suppose I have filtered, suppose I use, like I use set current, set range. There is one more function, set current key. This is actually used for the sorting purpose. Like I have filtered already customer on 10,000 to 30,000, but I want to filter them in certain sorting order. Then set current key is used. So like this. So if I wrote this, it means it will sort the customer table on basis of number, and then I am filtering number from 10,000 to 30,000, and if I pass true, then it means I want to modify the key value. Key value means if I want to modify the customer dot number. Okay, so suppose I set some key and I want to modify that key value. So then I need to use this true. Otherwise you will get some runtime errors. So one exercise for you, and also because I am setting filters on number which is a primary key, I want you to test one, for primary key I need not to use set current key, because this set range or set filter, any type of filters will take primary key as default. It will sort by default by primary key. So there is no need to write set current key for the primary key. Okay, so the example, this example is not good to set current key because it's already filtered by the number field. So I want you to test one case before Monday session. Okay, exercise will be, I want to filter, okay, we will take sales header table. Okay, create a example on sales header table. Table number is 36. Okay, or better, I will email you the exercise. Okay, I will think a proper example and I will email you, and I want that before Monday session. So maybe tonight I will email you the exercise. So I just told you about the find first, find last and find set. Okay, and about the set current key, set current key is not needed when we are filtering on the primary key field. If you want to filter on some secondary key fields, I need to write set current key. And set current key, if I mention whatever the fields I mention into that, it should be a secondary key in a table. Okay, if the key is not found, you will get error. Okay, and what happens actually, it checks every field in the table for a key. If that field exists in the table as a secondary key, it will take any first key. So it's better to find a proper key and use the set current key function. And then when you use set current key, suppose you want to filter on name and address, that name starts from S or address starts from Z, something like that, and you will filter, it will sort according to the name and address. Okay, it will not sort according to the customer numbers, it will sort according to the fields which you mention in the set current key. Okay, now we will talk about the difference between set range, and you will see there is one more filter function which is set filter. Okay, so what is actually, if I have specific values like from value to value, like I know that I want to filter from 10,000 to 30,000, I should use set range. And if I knew in advance that what I want to filter, it's not any expression, then I should use set range, and set range is faster than set filter. So what happens with set filter, it allows operators or expressions it allows the expressions in the filtration. Okay, I'll write down one example. If you see set range, it is from value to value, but set filter is field and some string. Okay, so suppose I will set filter on number, and I want to write like it should be greater than 10,000 and not equal to 20,000. So now I do not want to find all the customers which fall between 10,000 to 30,000, but I want to only filter those customers which are greater than 10,000 but not equal to 20,000. And I write the same repeat until, and let's see what happens. And I will print the number, not the name. So there are many. So there are many, but it will filter between only those values which I gave here. Okay. One more way to write this filter. Like should be greater than %1. %1 we already are aware of it. It's a placeholder. So if I write this greater than %1 and not equal to %2. And if I define %1 and %2, I need to define the values. Okay. This is another way of writing the same line. Like I gave a placeholder. So it can be like any expression which according to your requirement. So this will also work the same. So we talked about find first, find last, and the filters. Filter, set range, set filter, and set current key. Then comes get range min and get range max. As the name says minimum, so it will return the minimum value, and maximum will return the max value. Let's try with one example. I filtered customer range between 10,000 to 30,000, and I will message get range min of what? Of customer number. Okay, let's print it. It has printed 10,000. So 10,000 in the minimum in this set. Okay, and if you write get range max, it will return 30,000. Okay. So any doubts about this data access functions and the sorting? Hello. No, so basically these are the important, like if I will again repeat, if I want to work only on a single record and I know the primary key value primary key field value, then I should use get is much faster because we are working on a primary key. Suppose you have 10,000 records, okay, but you want to fetch only record number 1001. So you need that, you know that value. So it's better if I know the customer number. So I suppose in the system there are 10,000 customer, but I want to fetch a detail of one customer and I also know which customer, then I should use get. If I want to work on a set of records, or I just know the range that I want of customers from between 10,000 to 30,000, but I want to know the first, I should use find first. It's much faster. Otherwise find last, okay. Otherwise find set. Find set I need when I want to work on all the filtered records, okay. Same case, set current key is needed. Suppose you are working on GL entry table, which is 17 table. So whatever the transactions you are doing, that table, the value in that table is created. If I post sales order or purchase order, so number of records in GL entry table will be huge. So in such table, I'll show you. This is table number 17 is the GL entry table. And if you see, this table is wherever any cost is posted, this table will get reflected. So if you are using system from 1 or 2 years and you have lot of transactions every day in lakhs, then if you write set range and set filter on this table and do find set, then it will go through all the records and find. So for that it's necessary to write, to set a key to fetch the value faster. Otherwise, suppose you want, if you do not use a set current key and you run some batch report, it takes suppose 1 hour time. But if you write proper key, you have proper key available in the system, you write set current key that I want a sorting on GL account number and date, okay. Suppose now it's for all date, but if you set filter on GL account number and posting date, you write set current key on this and this, and then you do set range on account number, that I just want to filter account number 5130 for today's date. So it will sort and also group. So it will only, like suppose for example I want to filter on GL account number 5130. So it has filtered now records. You will not find any other records, any other GL account number in this set. And then you set posting date. Posting date be like 4/1/2004 14. So you will find only 3 values. So it's much faster because you are finding only, you have sorted and grouped on these 2 fields. So this is the basic use of set current key. But in these type of transaction tables, we should use the already existing keys, like whatever the keys. If my sorting falls under this, it's always good to use the already existing key. If I create a new key, then again for each record new indexing will be created. If I talk about in data management scenario, it will be like it's not good to have many keys in the transaction tables, okay. So try avoid creating new keys in the transaction tables. These are the transaction tables. So I'm done with this. Find first. I'll give you one example where I want to use the set range and set current key and find first and find last. I'll try to think and send you. Yeah. We can't apply filters while writing the code. We need to filter. Like this is not a real example, like I wrote 10,000 to 30,000. There should be some scenario like this customer number is returned from, like for example I am posting some sales transaction. I have a sell to customer number there, so I already have a customer number. So why should I find a customer in all the tables, like for all the records, okay. So we need set range and set filter to filter the records, Or maybe I didn't get your question. Can you please ask again? This is happening in back end. This is not you are running the page and filtering. You got my point? This is happening in the background, like you are posting something. That time you have not run the table. You cannot apply filters on the directly to the table. You got my point? You mean like if I run some page like this and I have applied the filter, why that is required? We are not doing everything in visual way. There are many things which are running in the background. Okay, like for example, I'll take at the end of every month, I want to adjust some amount in this table at the end of every month. So in a month, there will be many entries in this. Okay, and customer want to print that report for their auditing purpose or some other purpose. Okay, so the user will not filter on all the GL accounts and do like this. They will run some report. Okay, so I will run the report and I want a result. I cannot filter on this table. And also one more thing, the data can be from many tables, not from this single table. Okay, like I want GL entry and also I want to filter on sales invoice entries and then I want to calculate something. Is this clear now? Okay, so this is not like you will run the table, you will filter. There are many things like some processes are happening in background, or you want to run some report on the month end, something like that. So, or you want to give a report to your director or something like that. Okay, guys, just hold for 1 second, please. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, now tell me, is this clear? If we are doing something directly on the page, we can definitely we can do. But we want to write some function, like we want some processing to be done. We need these filters. Okay. So you need to practice this, all this with the lab examples and try to think. Like this, from lab actually it will not make the understanding. You have to think what is the purpose when I want to use this or when I want to use that. So try thinking yourself. Also I'll try to create some exercises. Okay. Now comes, I'll just cover this in next 5-10 minutes and then we will continue on Monday. Now let's talk about data manipulation functions. So we are the application is used not only to read the data. We want to insert the data, or we want to, yes, give me 15 minutes. Actually, I'm having some training, so I need 15 more minutes. Yeah, I'm back. So we only I was saying that we only not need to read the data. We want to insert the data, or we want to change the data. Okay, for that data manipulation functions are needed. So first we'll take the example of insert. Okay, now I want to insert some data to customer table. So as per your older question, if we want to insert something, we can insert manually. But sometimes in the background, we like if you post some sales transaction, I will tell you. suppose you created some sales order, that you want to sell this customer some items, and you post it. So the values you are entering in the document table sales header and sales line, but when you post it, it will be deleted from this table and will be inserted to the sales invoice header table. So this will be transferred to the sales header to sales invoice header table. So that's what we need to insert. Also, like now you will say customer we can directly insert from the page. Why we are I'm writing a code to insert value in the customer table. Suppose I have some web link. Okay, I have linked with some web. On web they create the customer, then it should be integrated with the Navision. So I want to create those functions in the Navision, not manually but by the code. So I will use the insert function. So I will write something init. Init is also a function which will initialize the field with the initial values of the data type. If I write in init, it will insert integer values with 0 and text values with blank. Okay, so I will write customer.init and then number, and then the name, and then customer dot, in modification you will find this insert. Okay, now you can see there is also a return variable here. Okay, I will tell you why return is needed for insert, but right now I will not return anything. I will just write it. If I run this, I hope it has run and it has inserted customer. So you can see it has inserted. So this is the purpose of insert. Yeah, Luis. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See you on Monday. Bye bye. Guys, are you getting late, or we can take 5 more minutes? Okay, only 5. Just stop me once 5 minutes is over. So I told you about the insert. Is that clear? Now I will tell you why there is return value used in insert. I will just show you the result and then we'll explain. You will get a runtime error. The customer already exists. So we cannot blindly call insert function. We should check whether this customer exists or not. So we need to check whether the if I write if, then it says if insert. If I run it, it will not say anything. It means I'm saying if not exist, then only insert. If I write if not customer dot insert, then message so I should use if, like if not exist then do this, If exist, then insert. If do not exist, then insert. Otherwise, press print a message or do some other calculation. Okay, this is a reason of return value in the insert function. If you see, there is also run trigger. This is an optional parameter. Run trigger means in the customer table there is lot of code written on insert. Like if I am inserting some value to inserting something in this table, this should also happen. Okay, so if I want to execute the code of on insert trigger on table, I should use that trigger. So like whenever I create a customer, I want to do these things, create dimensions or insert something, or so I should use true here. Okay, this is not part of this exercise, but because I saw there is a parameter in this function, so I told. Okay, I similarly there is a modify function, with that also there is a trigger passed, and modify is also returning. So if I want to modify something, I need to check whether found or not. So there are functions insert, modify, modify all. So insert we have already discussed. For modify just one, I will just explain modify also. I'll write customer dot get 10,000 and customer dot modify. What I want to modify? Name. I want to modify the name of 10,000 customer as Shikha. I have not used statement. Okay, if I run it and see customer 10,000, it is changed to Shikha. So for changing some value, I need this modify. Modify all, like now I have modified only one customer, but I want to modify the some value of multiple customers, like we already discussed. Customer dot set range number from 10 to 30,000 or 20. And I will write customer dot modify all. Okay, it says field and new value. Like which field? I am saying name field, name by Shikha. So what will happen? It will modify all the customers ranging between 10,000 to 20,000 by Shikha. Okay, you can try all these functions by your own. This is modify all. Similarly, delete if I want to delete a single record, and delete all if I want to delete the bunch of records. Okay, try this on your own before Monday evening. This all we discussed in the in this lab, in this chapter. There are which I told you in my first day. They have also defined string functions and the date functions and the array functions. So please try these. Okay, please try all this. String position, in string length, I already told what this insert string is doing. Okay, and the best part to try this is to press F1. You will get the help, read the text, try the example. Okay, so in this exercise, basically in the rest of the part they are explaining about these functions, and some built-in functions like message we already know, error we already know. There are some dialog functions which we'll discuss on Monday. So few important things I will discuss on Monday, but rest of the, like these properties, please try on your own. Okay, Anything you want to ask? Okay, all clear? So actually today's thing like using the record variables, filtering and calculation is more important. Okay, so try to think in application way, like why we are inserting, why we are modifying, why we are filtering. Okay, and you will have a session, you have a solution development training which will happen after 2 3 weeks. In that the things, the application will be more clear. Okay, but try to understand like whatever you are doing, why you are doing, and what else you can do for that. Okay, try to think in that way, not only just follow the PDFs. Okay, because I know the PDFs are just giving examples, try this and you will try that, but think in like how the application will work and why we are inserting or modifying or doing these jobs. Okay, okay, then that's all for today, and just let me know whether you all can come online on Monday. Okay, okay, then have a good weekend and see you all on Monday. Okay, bye bye. And I will post this video and send you the link. Okay. Okay, bye bye.